For the 35-year-old Michael, it was another day of coming back home from work, compressing the cushions on his sofa while monotonously rewatching the episode once again, trying to find the plots amusing and chuckle at the jokes just one more time in an attempt to forget a usual bad day at work. This routine was nothing unique for him. Day in and day out, he would wake up, take a shower, go to work, come back home and fall asleep while watching another shitty television show. Life was mundane. Michael had spent years going through the same routine day in and day out. Today, he was watching the last episode of The Office after already completing the show 3 times. The episode was close to ending, which naturally left Michael with the thought of, what now? With most of the sitcoms, rom-coms and any other coms already being consumed by him, his mind was looking for a new distraction. While blankly staring at the screen and thinking of shows to distract himself from the tedious, monotonous reality of life, he heard Pamela say,
"There's a lot of beauty in ordinary things."
But is there? Michael thought. For the past years, Michael's life has been completely the same and had been devoid of any joy all this time. So much so that all the time he spent with himself, he tried to escape the reality he was in, doing his best to not give any thought to what's going on. Everything has been the same, nothing has changed, and yet Michael has not experienced any pleasure in it. Why am I stuck like this? What have I been doing all these years? Why has nothing changed for me in all these years? Michael's mind was being overburdened by existential dread. In order to take his mind off of all of this, he diverted his attention back to the show, finished it and went to bed. 15 minutes in, he couldn't sleep. The 15 minutes turned to 30 and the 30 grew to an hour and he couldn't sleep. It was as if all the fatigue had vanished and his mind was overcome by restlessness. Restlessness to find out why were things the way they were. Michael went to his living room and started looking out of the window in an attempt to clear his mind. He was looking at the night sky, gazing at the stars, breathing the cool air, when a car crashed into the pole in front of his house. Startled by the loud crash, Michael lost all his thoughts. Being annoyed by the driver's stupidity, he cursed at him and exclaimed, "Why would you crash into a pole?" He stopped. He had a breakthrough. The car crashed because there was nothing to change its path. No force was applied that would change its course, so it crashed. "That's it! That's it!" exclaimed Michael. His life was the same because it had no external force affecting its direction. Nothing changed because there was no cause for anything to change. That's why everything in the world, in the universe, has been so chaotic, because there has always been an external force to affect it. Wait, what? Michael hit another roadblock. There are plenty of changes, instantaneous or chronic, throughout the universe, but there isn't any external force acting upon it, is there? There was only one way to find out: sacrificing his sleep for the greater good of humanity, or at least his humanity. He went on to the World Wide Web. Michael looked up everything from how the universe came into being to how it's currently being run and to what its future might be. The universe was formed from nothing under the Big Bang. But how? Why? If there was nothing before the Big Bang, then this would mean that when the universe ends, we would have to go back to nothing? Michael came to the conclusion that since our universe sprang up from nothing, that means when it's destroyed and goes back to nothing, there is nothing stopping it from being formed once again, since it was formed from nothing to begin with. More importantly, since it came from nothing, it means that there is no factor which would be responsible for bringing about any sort of change, even in the most minute aspects. This would mean that the new universe would be exactly the same as ours, from the same rate of expansion to the same amount of galaxies, solar systems, planets, universal constants, everything. Since again, it formed from nothing, every single thing would be the same, even down to the same humans. There would not be anything which would impact its creation and prevent us from happening the way we are in the universe. Yes, you and I would be there once again in that universe, thinking the exact same thoughts, pursuing the exact same goals, possessing the exact same personalities, and doing the exact same things. So I will be there making this exact same video, and you will be there, the exact same person watching it, feeding into an eternal loop. Coming back to the sad conclusion of eternal bondage, Michael looked up at the clock. It read 7:30 a.m. Rubbing his eyes, he went to the bathroom, went to work, and came back home to rewatch Friends in order to free his mind of this thought.